Okay, so we started meeting in February, one more time. And so this is basically the mission statement for our group, more or less. We are motivated by the belief that all people should be able to enjoy beauty regardless of encumbrance or ability. So we started meeting in February. We had our first meeting, we had our tour, we were there for like 3 hours. We got to see the whole facility, we got to meet some people, we got to watch a video on interactions with people who have sight deficiencies and etiquette and so on and so forth. So we brought up this idea, and at that time it was just an idea of one of maybe 2 or 3 that we had going on. So I think Milin talked to the executive director at the last event, and she was really behind it, so she really wanted us to make this our service project, so we went with it. Next. Okay, so strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So keep doing them all. All right, so strengths. So it doesn't currently exist, so we're not duplicating a service that's already offered, or we're not duplicating a project. It's been strongly encouraged by staff and the executive director, which always helps. We all know that working in nonprofits. Weaknesses, it requires ongoing maintenance. So this is something that we're going to put down in the ground, but somebody else is going to have to keep up with it. Opportunities, a new volunteer opportunity, which is always nice for nonprofits to have new people coming in, having nice and positive things to say about your organization. And it'll encourage others to add, beauty and other art projects or something of similar merit to the site center. And the threats, we live in Ohio, the weather. So hopefully we can even get this thing in the ground before the weather turns on us, but keeping our fingers crossed. Okay. All right, so research, we talked, Milin took the lead on a lot of this. He had a contact out at the Botanical Gardens who gave us a list of the flowers that we can even put in the ground for our sensory garden. So the sensory garden, hence its name, is going to appeal to all of the senses. They even have plants that make noise. I don't know. I wish I could tell you the name of it, but I can't remember it right now. So we discussed the layout with one of Milin's contacts. They wanted $100 to come out and map it out, so we're going to wing that part. And so we just needed some direction as to what to put in the ground, because I don't think any of us had really ever done a sensory garden or been a part of it, and we also didn't know what usually would go in there. So we got some direction, and we have some steps that we can follow now. Okay, so this is probably the best group I've ever worked with, knock on wood. I usually hate group projects, but we have decided as a group collectively on every decision, what to buy, where it's going to be. Pierre took the lead on mapping out the area. We figured out Gerome is working on acquiring tools and all that stuff. We're trying to figure out when to buy, where to buy from. So everybody is involved, everybody's pulling their own weight, and we make the decisions as a group. So there's no lead person, I do the communication, but I'm communicating for the whole group to the whole group. Next. Okay, so as I said, we can do them all. So Anthony and Milin are working on donations. Milin got us a donation letter from the executive director of the site center. So research, planning, and design. So it's Pierre, Rosetta, and Milin taking the lead on that part. Coordination of projects. So me and Gerome are going to do that on the day of to make sure volunteers know what they're doing, when they're doing it, and where they're doing it. And I'm in charge of group communications. Next. And my executive director in Neighborhood Housing Services is a part of our donor circle, which we hope will get bigger. It's fine, just keep going. He donated some money to our cause, and so I appreciate that. And if you ever get to meet Lou, Salavi Village team, he's right next door to the Golden Cypress. Cool guy, no facial expressions, I like that about him. All right, next. All right, so this is when it's gonna happen. Saturday, May 10th, 11 to 2, lower level courtyard, and then we'll have a secondary project on the inside just in case it's a storm, torrential downpour, snow, hail, whatever. Okay, and our last slide. And this is just words considered from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, known probably from the Sherlock Holmes series. But it says, what a lovely thing a rose is. Our highest assurance of the goodness of Providence seems to me to rest in flowers. All other things, our powers, our desires, our food, are all really necessary for our existence in the first instance. But this rose is an extra. Its smell and its color are an embellishment of life, not a condition of it. It is only goodness which receives extras, and so I say again that we have much to hope for from the flowers. Okay, and what you should have in front of you is our one-pager for the event. I had in the habit of doing these, so it's just all the details. Another quote from Helen Keller about appreciating beauty in nature and the particulars of our event. So that is all. Have a good night.